Sun. These are our folks born from July 23rd through August 22nd. Leo, as you may know if you are a Leo or if you've dated or if you're dating a Leo, this is the lion. That's the symbol, the animal symbol. When I think of Leo, I think of the sun, though. I like to think of the way that a lion radiates its roar out away from itself, right? Our sun radiates its light and energy and radiation out from its body, which of course keeps our planet here, the Earth, keeps our ecosystem working, keeps us all alive. It's why we have plants to eat and animals have plants to eat, and etc., and oxygen and all the good stuff that we need here to keep this beautiful planet humming. So with that comes creativity. You think of all the things that are here on the earth, and it's a process of creation, of birth and death and regeneration and over again. That's all fueled by the sun. So when you think of a Leo, I want you to think of this dynamic, outward, creative energy. That is Leo. A Leo is here to self-express. They're here to be heard, to be seen. Many times Leos, if someone has a very strong Leo chart, you know them when you see them. I met two Leos just this past week, and I knew immediately before they even told me their birthday that they were Leo, or at least had a Leo rising or a Leo moon, you know. Leo has a colorfulness, and not literal colorfulness necessarily, although it can be, but there is a sparkly, energetic, charismatic energy that comes from the Leo. Okay. Now, on the high side with Leo, we have a fixed sign. So this is someone who, once they've made their mind up about something, they're quite loyal and they're committed, sometimes to a fault even. They can sometimes, like the Taurus or sometimes the Scorp, or, you know, they sometimes can get themselves in situations where they stay longer than they should, okay? Not always. Now, if they're, as long as they're being admired and they feel like this is a situation where they're getting their pets and the affection and the time and the admiration that they need from their partner, they can overstay relationships that are maybe with partners who are on again, off again. You know, that can sometimes happen to a Leo, because when it's on, it's really good and they feel fantastic, and then when it's off, they can feel dejected and they want to win back the on again affections of their partner, if that makes sense. So that can happen sometimes with Leo. Now, back to the Leo temperament, though. Also, this is a personality type that's quite protective of loved ones. It's a fire sign. They have a natural leadership quality to them. They are warm and affectionate. They're quite generous. They like to, many times, a lot of Leo's men in particular, they're gift givers, you know. Because there's a nostalgia, sort of like the way Cancer is nostalgic, but in a different way. They like to be giving the gifts or giving the love. You know, that's this outward flow of energy. But also, let's move to the shadow side of Leo. On the shadow side, Leo can also be pouty. If they're not getting the attention that they want or that they feel they deserve, they can be pouty. They can be you know, like they're the divine child, actually, of the zodiac, the divine child, the sun, and you know, they can, at times, if they feel like they're not being loved by their partner, as a mother would love a child, they pout like a little baby. So also, Leos need to feel like they're number one. They need to feel like they are the be-all and end-all. I have so many clients. This is really funny. It's anecdotal, of course, but I would say I can think of right now 5 or 6 different clients who have and also 2 people that I've dated who have exes who have their moon in Leo, that are female with the moon in Leo, and who broke up with, okay, mind you, they broke up with the male partner, but then after that male partner has moved on to a new female, the Leo moons come back into the picture, okay? Or they still need to feel like they're number one, even though they don't even really care about the partner, okay? Now this is shadow side. So hopefully if you're listening to this and you're a Leo, you don't do such silly tricks. But if you do, we're on to you. Also, you've got, they can be vain, right? They can be proud, dignified on the high side, and proud kind of on the like low functioning side, where they don't want to look bad, so they can cover their tracks, or, you know, lie about something to save face. They're such good salespeople. They're so good at talking you into whatever it is that they kind of have in mind. Like a true Leo, they're so enthusiastic and charismatic. You feel like, well, yeah, I want to do whatever it is you're talking about. That sounds great. They can really sell people into something. But that can also make them seem a little. They can be bossy sometimes, or they can be a little overbearing with what they think is the right way. If you're working like in a team, sometimes the Leo can be like wants to get its way. It's the king and the queen, so they can be a little demanding or bossy. But ultimately, they are a strong leader, and a lot of times they are correct. They have a good intuition, and it's different than a water sign intuition. It's a fire sign intuition. It's just kind of like they'll strike out and try something, and if it doesn't quite go the way that they expect it to go, they'll fix it and make it go the way. You know what I mean? That's a fixed energy. It's like taking what you've got in the present moment and making it work. Okay. Applying energy to that to make it work. Now, as far as also another shadow side thing, they do have a high need for thank yous and for praise. And I don't know that that's necessarily shadow side or low functioning. I feel like that's actually just, if you as a partner or a friend, if you understand your Leo, you recognize that they are generous and they give, okay? But they don't do it the way a Virgo does it, where it's like self-effacing, like they give. They don't really expect or nor kind of in a way want or feel comfortable with receiving in return. Leo's not like that. Leo's the divine child. It's like a kid playing. They want to throw you the ball, and then they want you to throw it back to them. Like, okay, like they want the back and forth. They want to give to. It's just like the sun and the moon, right? So the sun shines on the moon reflects the light back. They just want this reciprocity there, and they want to be told thank you, or like to recognize that they're making an effort and they're focusing all their divine energy on you. So recognize that and know that you are with someone who is here to express their ego. So you need to support that sort of life purpose. Okay, Leo's in love. Now you've got a Leo, someone who's true Leo. They're very romantic, they're ardent, and because remember we talked about them being the divine child, there's an innocence to the way that they love. They like to have fun, they like to be spontaneous and surprise their partner with, whether it's a fun trip or it's even just something simple like a love letter that they've left for you on the counter, or, a female Leo, I can see her leaving like lipstick kisses and words and stuff on the mirror, like that kind of thing. Like they like to demonstrate and express their love when they're really in love with someone, and they're really proud. Like on social media, you see Leos, they'd be posting like pictures of their partner and the two of them together, and they want to show you off. And it's out of this place of kind of like, they just admire you as well. And so when they admire, they have to like let others know. They can't like keep it to themselves. Okay, Leo's expectations in love. Now, Leos many times, like I said earlier, they have a little pride and dignity to themselves in the way that they operate. They appreciate a partner who also takes pride in themselves. And this includes physically. A lot of Leos, they can be kind of flashy with the way that they dress. You could have a Leo that started out, with not a lot of money, and then gets a job in the real world, and starts making some good money, and then the first thing they would do is go out and buy some really nice clothes. Like they like to, again, because they're this energy that's about flowing outward from this. It's an extroverted expression of energy. So to be seen, to be heard, to make a mark, that's Leo. And so the way you dress many times, they can be bold. So they like a partner who is also someone who presents well, someone that they can take out in public and be proud of. Now, also expectations. They expect loyalty. They are loyal. If they've committed to you, if they're in love with you, with a Leo, okay? Of course, the whole chart, we need to look at the whole chart, but Leo's quite expressive and ardent. When they're in love, they can't help but tell you, so you will know. And if you violate that and you are not loyal in return, that will really anger a Leo. And it's the one thing that would make a Leo leave, really. And a Leo who stays in a situation where their partner is cheating on them, they've got to have some, water or earth on that moon, or, some other things happening there, perhaps some Virgo Pisces stuff happening, or 6 and 12 house stuff happening to get them to stay, and they're going to hate themselves the whole time that they're staying. So loyalty is important. Leo's biggest fear is, their number one kind of, remember, they're the sun. So they need to be recognized. They need to feel like they're doing something with their life that's important. In their relationships, they need to feel like they're important to the partner. There is a little bit of an egocentrism to them. I mean, look, the sun It's our star that holds our entire solar system together. So they probably deserve, and they probably, you know, a Leo typically, and if, as long as they're well aspected, they're quite loving and they deserve the admiration that they need, you know, they seek. Their biggest concern is that they're not important, that they're not, you know, number one to their partner, that they're not number one in whatever their field of work is. You know, they're quite ambitious. Because it's the sense that you came, you lived your life, but you didn't do the one thing you were supposed to come do, which is leave a mark, an indelible mark that's unique to you. That's Leo's mission. So if they feel like they're not accomplishing that, then you got a sad Leo. So that's their fear. So support them in their efforts, their creative efforts, their career efforts. Be patient with them when they do go through a little ego, times where they get a little, kind of a little inflated ego. If you can help bring them back to earth, that's always good. But do it in a nice way without hurting their dignity, okay? And ultimately, they just need love and affection returned back to them. They're pretty simple. They want to be admired, loved, and snuggled, and all of that good stuff. So that's your Leo. Aquarius sun signs are born between January 20th and February 18th. With our Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is the zodiac sign that we associate with, in my mind, revolutionary sort of fringe behavior, thinking, topics, themes, etc. Aquarius is eccentric. It's a little different. This is our water bearer. And the water bearer, to me, I never really think of the symbolism of the water bearer other than the fact that it's like the star card in the tarot, which happens to do with sort of hope and for the future. Now, Aquarius is a sign that rules friendship and brotherly love and our associations that we have with our broader community. It's humanitarian efforts. It's these efforts to move us from a place as a species, as a race, that's more selfish, into this place that's about offering everyone the freedoms to express as they would like to express, okay? Unity, equality, these sorts of things. So Aquarius also rules science. It rules the new age, including astrology, anything cosmic, anything that has to do with sort of these mysteries of the universe. I think of these mysteries as quite different from maybe Scorpio or 8th house or watery mysteries that have to do with the inner psyche, but this is more sort of the cosmic mysteries and what our place is and what our role is. So with an Aquarius, you have an individual who, as a personality type, you tend to see as someone sort of eccentric. They'll have a freak flag. They usually are a little bit different or odd, and they won't mind being called weird or eccentric. Like, they'll appreciate that you see that they're unique. They really strive to live their life in a way that they feel is their own authentic version of what they think life is. Aquarius also is a fixed sign, so there is a stubbornness, even though this is an air sign and it has to do with freedom and it has to do with, it's ruled by Uranus, which gives it this sort of on again, off again quality. It's also traditionally was ruled by Saturn as well. So these two rulers, it's interesting, neither are emotional sort of rulers. Both of them I think of as detached and a little bit colder in the sense that they're impartial. So a lot of times people who have strong Aquarius, Uranian, or Capricorn, or Saturn, those four energies strongly noted in their chart, they'll have a sarcasm to them. They'll have a cynicism to them. It's this interesting place where their understanding of the realities of life, which would be sort of that Saturnian energy, mixed with an Aquarius at least, their ability to see the possibilities, the contradiction there, makes them a little sarcastic, and also there's a strong element of genius that we've applied to Aquarius Mercuries, or someone who's got a lot of Uranian energy in their 3rd house, or 11th house, 3rd house connections, Mercury. Anyway, they'll have a genius to them. Their mind will be quick. They will seem as though they received cosmic downloads, and perhaps they do. Who says they don't? I don't know. And there's just this, the way that they think that was a little different, it's a little fringe, a little weird relative to the norm. They're not normals, okay? I love Aquarius. They're one of my favorite signs. High functioning Aquarius, you've got someone who is unique, unorthodox. They do things in a way that other people maybe haven't thought of doing them yet. They have this thing where they really care about people. They're great friends. Many Aquariuses have a lot of friendly associations with a lot of different people. They're very social, and they need to have those connections with many different people, all right, and many times of the opposite gender or of the gender that they're attracted to sexually, but they need to know that their partner knows that they're loyal, that they're, they're not, they need to be free to have these associations, and it's an important part of who they are. With an Aquarius, you've got also, it's an air sign, so they're logical and they're thinkers, and they also have an energy about them because it's Uranian. Uranus's energy is a little nervous, and they can worry about things, and their heads can even be a little ADD, a little spastic in their thinking process. I say that with love. I have Uranus in my third house, but it's on again, off again quality, because that's Aquarius energy. It's very like here and then there and then everywhere. So onto our shadow side, our low functioning, Aquarius traits, you do have a flakiness that can happen with Aquarius. You can have, they're just not earthy grounded the way that a Capricorn or a Virgo might be, or a Taurus. It's just, they're just different. They, doesn't mean they won't show up for people that they care about, because these are our most sort of humanitarian types. They'd be really good at sort of spreading the message and getting a bunch of people there. And they're going to be good at the part that they're good at, which has to do with the communication and the actual, maybe perhaps creation of the entity, and then letting other people actually do the in-person work. They're the idea person. Also, you've got a fixed sign. So you've got someone who's determined. They can be stubborn. They can be so determined to a fault. They can leave situations and be non-committal with their relationships in the same way Gemini can, because they're not naturally, again, a super emotionally connected on their own insides type of a person, because they spend so much of their energy up in this part of themselves, up in their head and in their throat chakra and whatnot, third eye and all that good stuff. This part of them is less connected, unless they have, again, moon, perhaps a moon that's in a watery placement, or some other things that would indicate that they're connected down here emotionally. But the way they operate on the outside is going to be pretty detached and a little sarcastic and a little funny and a little like they'll say things that are inappropriate, but they just have a Aquarius vibe about them that's pretty great, or groovy. What else? They're freedom loving, and so on the high side they give that freedom, but on the shadow side sometimes if they feel like they're not being given freedom, they can rebel, and they can be the type that wander. They have to prove to themselves and sort of the universe that they still are free, that they still have that universal right that's been granted to them, that they can spread themselves around a little, so that's the shadow side. Also, they can be a little critical. They can be a little, that sarcasm can move into the realm of being kind of mean, critical language. Okay, Aquarius in love, they're naturally friendly, sociable types. That's what they're here for. They're here to socialize. So typically they have a lot of friends of both genders. And again, they're going to have friends that might be the same gender that they're attracted to. So as a partner of an Aquarius, you have to understand that there's a big difference between platonic and romantic. Aquariuses love platonic relationships, and they have a lot of them, and they need them. And if you try to take that from them, you are stripping away one of the most basic parts of who they are, and good luck with getting them to stay, because they're not going to. They're going to be gone. Aquarius do not they have a fear of commitment. So if you're in any way, shape, or form emotionally overwhelming them or trapping them or holding them down, preventing them from doing the thing they're here to do, then they will leave. Also, Aquarius, they have a flirtatious, cerebral quality to them, and they like a relationship that has a lot of communication. They like little sexy flirting text messages and letters and wittiness and banter, and someone who can teach them things. That's really attractive to an Aquarius. Someone who can debate with them about a topic that's close to their heart, or their pet topic. And a lot of times Aquarius, we see people strong Aquarius, they're kind of nerdy. They have like a geekiness to them that's really appealing. So if you have that as well, that's probably going to be quite attractive to an Aquarius. This would be our sapiosexuals, that are attracted to the mind, someone who has a powerful intellect. That will be very sexy to an Aquarius. So Aquarius expectations in love, I kind of mentioned this already, but it is loyalty from the partner from an intellectual place. So they would expect your understanding of who they are and what they're here to do, which is to make many social contacts, to test the edges and the limits of social norm. That's why we consider them our iconoclasts, and they're our rebels, and they're our eccentrics and the freak flag flyers. Okay, they need to be able to do all these things because that's who they are. So they will be loyal to a partner who understands that about them. They would expect in return, they will give you complete freedom, and they expect that in return. It's just not it's not a non-negotiable issue for a true Aquarius. If they can't do a partner that's clingy, that emotionally needs to be validated by them, that partner will be sorely disappointed. The Aquarius just kind of, even if they know how to emotionally validate you or to be really sensitive to your emotional needs, the logical part of them will kind of step in and just be like, yeah, but you shouldn't really be so emotional about that, or that doesn't make sense to me, why you're making such a big deal out of this, or they'll even just have this attitude too, like, why do you care what someone thinks about you? You know, you shouldn't be upset about that, just who cares? They just don't, they themselves don't go to these really deep dark places typically, so they don't really understand why you need to and why you need to pull them in there. It doesn't make sense to them. Again, unless you've got someone who's got a watery moon, or a moon that's in a water house, then, you know, that's going to make this person more sensitive. But Aquarius can be a little insensitive. They do well with other thinkers and other air signs and fire signs. Aquarius's biggest fear would be if they're here to express their freedom of expression, the fear would be having that taken from them, feeling like they had to play a role, pretend to be somebody that they're not, keep it in the closet, etc. You know, that would be very uncomfortable for an Aquarius, and any partnership that required that would not last long with an Aquarius. They have an on again, off again quality to them, where they are flaky too. They can be, and it depends on where it falls. It can affect their flakiness towards deciding on a career, or it can affect the way in partnership that if it's in their fifth house, maybe they have like multiple partners, and you know, it just depends on how. But there is an on again, off again quality. There's a lack of commitment in some part of their life. You know, where that sun falls, there can be a lack of commitment in that area. So it's something that they know this about themselves, and they don't appreciate it about themselves always either. And they really will not appreciate being told that they're behaving in this way, because they already know. You better believe they already know. So their fear is, you know, accept them for who they are. Their fear is when they're not being accepted for who they are. All right, Leo and Aquarius. With these two, you've got opposites. These are opposite signs. You've got fixed fire sign, which is Leo, and you've got a fixed air sign, which is Aquarius. Leo operates from a place of their passion, ardent in their romantic relationships, and romantic, and they have an idealized kind of idea of love and how the romantic relationship should sort of, in a sense, revolve around them and their needs many times with Leos. And I don't mean to be beating you Leos up, but Leo is all about self-expression. That's why they're here. So they want something, they let you know they want it, okay? Aquarius is all about allowing everybody, everyone, every part of the collective, every human being that's part of the collective, the freedom to self-express as they see fit. So there's a natural kind of two sides of the coin with these two. Means Aquarius is also, many times, are quite eccentric, and they have a detachment to them. They have this ability to be friends with a lot of different people without it being really deep, intimate friendships. They can have platonic friendships with a lot of people and be really happy in that place. Leo needs some devotion from the partner. So this is where we get to our long-term sort of interaction between these two and / conflicts. Leo needs devotion of the partner, and they need the loyalty of the partner. Aquarius tends to be a little bit more free-spirited, and if you don't have their moons happy with one another, and you know, maybe if the Aquarius has some fire on the moon, that would be helpful. Or maybe the Aquarius Sun, having that Aquarius Sun in a water house even. They give them even more of an emotional depth or more of an intensity of their expression of their personality through their emotions, and a little bit less detached than they tend to be. Then that could help a bit with this combination. But Leo needs the partner, you know, doting up on them and admiring them. And Aquarius just kind of will do it, but it's like, and then they're off doing it to somebody else, you know, like that's just how Aquarius operates. They need freedom to be friends with a lot of different people, and Leo wants to be the only one, the number one sole source of all love, devotion, and inspiration and admiration, etc., to their partner. So there could be a conflict. As far as the Aquarius could also feel like, I need freedom. I want to be able to, why are you jealous, or why are you being possessive of me? I need to be able to go do my thing. So look at the moons again. It'll really tell you more about how this plays out. Other people could see this coupling as a fun, dynamic, it's a little bit of like a, you've got the fun. I think of Aquarius as this free spirit, right? It's like it can be a Peter Pan type. If it's a guy, it can be sort of this spirit, this it could almost be this fairy if it's a girl. They're hard to pin down. And then you've got Leo, who is more of a once they've set their sights on you, you know, you are blessed to be the receiver of their attention. So you better, you know, be a loyal subject in a sense, right? And so other people could kind of see this dynamic as interesting and watch you from a distance and be like, I wonder what's going to happen with these two. But let me know how you've experienced what it's been like for you for your Leo Aquarius relationship. Let me know the moon placement too, and if you know the placements of the houses, or rather the house of the sun and the moon are in, the luminaries. Let me know that too. That's helpful and interesting. So have a good day, and thanks for watching. Okay, bye.